Stephen A. Smith is panicking after Trump is named in the Epstein files, bro. I guess this is what happened when you do all that bootlicking, trying to get a pat on the back. That's what happens. This one here is about Jew Almighty. Go check him out, obviously.
Stephen A. Smith has sold out to the point that he went from telling everyone to get over the Epstein files.
You're in an uproar off the Epstein list?
To now trying to blame the Democrats for releasing them just to get back at Trump.
Of course, if you had something on him about Epstein, you'd have let it go earlier to make sure he didn't become the 47th president. I'm not saying I know. It's a legitimate question.
But he's legitimately dangerous because he's intentionally ignorant, obnoxiously loud, and wrong way too often for someone that has a platform as big as his.
I don't
That's
know.
facts.
I suspect, but I have no knowledge, nor do I care. It's Friday night. I'm getting ready to go out and enjoy myself. I'm getting ready to have a nice weekend. I could give a damn about the client list, the Epstein client list. This has no effect on me whatsoever.
But he has never once criticized Trump for being named in the Epstein files multiple times.
House Democrats released more emails from Epstein that showed Donald Trump knew more than he was letting on. Then to make matters worse, the right-wing media ran the stories onto email, even going so far as showing some of the more incriminating emails to their audience.
Stephen A's desperation to be taken seriously as a political commentator has really clouded whatever judgment he had. He somehow found a way to blame Democrats for not releasing Epstein documents that they didn't even have access to. But he's never condemned Trump for being in the files.
The Epstein files were in existence and free to have been opened during the Biden administration. How come?
Yeah, he got to stop all this glazing, bro. He is glazing too hard, bro. He gonna have all kind of bumps on his lips right now because he doing too much for Trump, though.
You didn't open it as a Democratic Party then?
But I'm Jew. Welcome to the channel. Please like and share the video. Don't forget to sub.
What's down with your
let's
Jew
get
boy?
into it.
Ladies and gentlemen, keep in mind that the Epstein files were in existence and free to have been opened during the Biden administration.
False.
You were there for 4 years. How come you didn't open it as a Democratic Party then?
Bro is the definition of loud and wrong. It doesn't care because he's not going to come back and make a correction and say he was wrong about anything. Just like Charlemagne isn't going to come back and say, my bad, I was wrong to chastise Democrats for fighting to keep people's ACA premiums lower.
This is disinformation that we're seeing that Charlemagne is doing. This is not just mistaken information. This is intentional going after black voters.
He's not going to say that. Neither is Steven.
What am I missing? I'm not saying I know. It's a legitimate question.
How long does it take?
Hey, that's how he try to skate on thin ice. That's how he walks a thin line, right? I don't know. I'm just trying to play ignorant, but you won't speak on it.
To Google something, read a few articles, and then have an informed opinion about it. Why you on your show blaming Democrats and yelling about something that you're admitting in the same breath that you're misinformed about or uninformed about?
Maybe I don't remember the answer. Maybe my extraordinary producers should be able to help me during the commercial break. But from my understanding, the same files that were open or being open now with the 220 pages of documents or whatever it is with various emails, that could have been done when Biden was in office.
He's wrong for multiple reasons. One, the emails that we're seeing now from Epstein naming Trump multiple times to Ghislaine and to Wolf had nothing to do with the documents that Congress had.
3 emails were recovered from Jeffrey Epstein to Ghislaine Maxwell and others about Trump's involvement in his ring. One of the emails, Epstein said, I want you to realize that the dog that hasn't barked is Trump. The victim spent hours at my house with him and he has never once been mentioned by police chief, FBI, or other law enforcement.
What did the second email say?
The second email was from Epstein to Michael Wolff, who was an author that wrote 4 books on how great Trump is. The email from Epstein said, the victim at Mar-a-Lago. Trump said he asked me to resign. Never remember ever. Of course he knew about the girls. He asked Ghislaine to stop. The email was from 2019 while Epstein was being questioned, and months later he was officially arrested for the second time.
These emails are completely separate and a completely separate thing from Epstein's estate. So this is new documentation.
Well, why didn't you do it if it's so important now? Well,
Yeah, bro, you got to stop making yourself look stupid, Stephen A. You should have read an article or something so you can have an informed opinion. But this is all new information and we trying to get it. It's damning. That's what it is. Boy, I know this man blood pressure through the roof right now, bro. Don't be surprised if old Donnie kicks the can, dog. I'm just calling a spade, man. Could you imagine that type of stress on a senior citizen, knowing damn well it's all crumbling apart around you? Like, that has to be a lot to deal with.
what are the Democrats doing at that particular moment in time? See? This is the kind of stuff that smells. Because my attitude is just deducing how much they despise Trump.
It's so weird to see people do this. You got all this energy and smoke for Democrats for making documents public now, which is what the general public has asked for. But
Facts.
you don't have any smoke, any criticism, any negative energy toward Trump, the person actually named in those emails, being said to be in a room for hours with victims, or being the dog that hasn't barked yet. You would rather defend PDFs and attack people trying to stop PDFs than say one negative word about the PDF.
This guy says, I don't give a single F if Donald Trump was with 17-year-olds in bikinis or if he slept with them. I care about deportations. When I see Indians and Mexicans in my country, I don't think, well, at least Joe Biden wasn't friends with Epstein. I can't.
That is wild, dog. That is some crazy ass shit to say, and you better not trust no individual like that around kids. He can't be within arm's reach of a kid at any given time, bro. This man, wild. What? Man, you draw the line at PDFs, but you're focused on Indians and Mexicans, which those people don't do nothing to you. You don't even want the jobs that the Mexicans are usually working, and you're probably incapable and intellectually not smart enough to do the jobs that a lot of Indians are coming over here to do, because a lot of Indians people are coming in the STEM field.
Can't believe this is
Crazy
what the MAGA
work,
movement
bro.
has become, openly shrugging off SA of minors, not arguing it didn't happen, not denying it, not even pretending to be outraged.
But that's
Just
on
saying
brand.
that if Trump did terrible things to a 17-year-old against her will, they don't care. This is not politics anymore. That is moral bankruptcy.
Because my attitude is just deducing how much they despise Trump is if there was some real bona fide dirt on him, since you went after him with the 34 felony convictions, which essentially was deduced to him paying hush money to Stormy Daniels, a star, just so she wouldn't reveal their happenings leading up to the election in 2016. Okay? If you had something like that you were willing to parade him through the streets with, of course, if you had something on him about Epstein, you'd have let it go earlier to make sure he didn't become the 47th president. That's just my thinking from a logical perspective. But what do I know?
Not much. He's just mixing a bunch of things all together. I believe the Epstein documents, the 200 plus pages, whatever, were under seal because it was still an open case during the Biden administration. The government prosecutors, nobody else, will be releasing private information about Epstein that could implicate other people to warn them or set alarms off that they may be suspects or indicted soon or anything like that. So what he's saying just doesn't make sense. And of course, you immediately have conservative pages sharing this video and agreeing with Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith calling out Democrats for only caring about Epstein files under Trump's presidency. Where was the outrage while Joe Biden was president? He's right. He's not right. He was dead wrong. And then all the tweets disagreeing with it. Props to Stephen A. for being able to confront this. They didn't have interest in it because President Trump was in no way implicated. But a lot of them and some Republicans could be, as well as some in power with foreign nations. Democrats are doing their best to distract from the completely failed Schumer shutdown. It's not working.
I just want to know, when the hell are MAGA people going to stop being delusional and wake up and use logic, bro? Like, the stuff that Trump does makes literally no sense. Every time he made fun of a Democratic person, he came back and did the exact same thing. Real talk. He was talking about Joe Biden can't stay up during press conferences. He can't stay awake. Here he is falling asleep now. He shitting on people trying to accept things from like Middle Eastern countries, and now he's accepted a fucking jet.
Saudi Arabia giving $25 million, Qatar, all of these countries. These are people that kill women and treat women horribly, and yet you take their money.
Not a gift to me, it's a gift to the Department of Defense, and you should know better.
Why don't you give back the money that you've taken from certain countries that treat certain groups of people so horribly?
You should be embarrassed asking that question. They're giving us a free jet. I could say, no, don't give us. I want to pay you $1 billion or 400 million or whatever it is. Or I could say, thank you very much.
Why don't you give back the money? I think it would be a great gesture.
I thought it was a beautiful gesture. Now, there are those that say we shouldn't be accepting gifts to the Defense Department. And I would say only a stupid person would say that.
It should have never happened. And I think you owe an explanation to the American people.
We're giving to everybody else. Why wouldn't I accept the gift?
If I ever said that, that's quid pro quo.
Bruh, dude's a master con artist, man. I mean, how can you not see this at this point?
These people live in just a delusional bubble.
That Jeffrey Epstein, in this person's view, was not a This is this person's view, who was there for a lot of this, but that he was into the barely legal type. Like he liked 15-year-old girls.
Under this video, people...
Hold on, Drew. Let me say this right quick, bro. We all know who leads the country in certain types of crimes that are related to minors. We all know what they look like. Out of those, how many of those women who are in relationships with these men are just sweeping it under the rug for them, turning a blind eye, enabling it by not reporting it? How many cover-ups are there going on right now behind the scenes? Think about it, bro. These women are helping these men. All of them fucked up.
We'll break this down very simply in the comments. The Department of Justice prosecuted Ghislaine during Biden's administration. You remember Ghislaine, she was Epstein's girl procurer who also essayed the girls. She's the woman Trump is now letting off and probably going to pardon. Biden DOJ convicted her, then dealt with her appeals. You people are morons. Facts. And nobody is saying anything about all the favors and soft treatment that Ghislaine is receiving under Trump, being moved to minimum security prisons, and the idea of her pardon being floated out there a while ago. And this is a very simple, very clear explanation. Here's why. The Epstein files, like grand jury records, FBI materials, and civil case evidence, are mostly under court seal or protected by law, meaning the Department of Justice and President Biden legally cannot just release them at will. Federal law strictly forbids public release of grand jury materials unless a judge authorizes it. Much of what people refer to as Epstein files includes ongoing investigations, witness information, and unindicted individuals' names, things that are protected for privacy and legal reasons. Very simple. Stephen A. could have Googled that. He could have put up a poll on X or Instagram, or just asked a lawyer before getting on camera, talking nonsense and being wrong as hell. But we gotta remember, at this point, Stephen A. is a shill. All he wants to do is be the conservative black talking head, like the main face of black conservatism, and that's what he's doing. So he's gonna take every opportunity he can to attack Democrats, like what he said about Jasmine Crockett.
But he's not even good at it. That's the problem. He sucks.
Educated, brilliant black woman is engaging in verbiage and rhetoric for the streets.
Then had to walk back when black people called him out.
I can look Jasmine Crockett in the face and say, I'm sorry for any kind of noise I caused in your direction.
But another very simple explanation that he could have gotten from Twitter. The Epstein files were under seal during the Biden administration due to Ghislaine Maxwell's trial. No one had access to them, and anyone with information about what is in them could be putting that trial in jeopardy and risking a mistrial. If people understood how our system of justice actually works, they could save their time and energy on these ridiculous, nonsensical takes. Stephen A. is not interested in understanding anything. He just wants to make a point to demonize Democrats to get brownie points from conservatives, which is what he did. And the worst part about this, just like I said about Charlemagne the God, he's not going to come back and correct himself. He's not going to issue an apology. He's not going to say I was wrong. I didn't know what I was talking about. He's just going to make the next video and be wrong about that too. Because at this point, where he is with his platform, Stephen A. doesn't really have to be right. He doesn't have to correct information. He can
that motherfucker grandfathered in, man. He got tenure.
Get up here and talk nonsense and spew bullshit, and conservatives will eat it up. Because at this point, they're delusional. They are trying to save face with the way that they voted any way they can. They will overlook anything and everything Trump does or is accused of, just to not have to say that they were wrong and there was a better candidate to vote for. And in case the other explanations weren't clear enough, this is a complicated case with a lot of files, so I know it's easy to confuse what's what. What Stephen A. Smith doesn't understand is that the emails released Wednesday are from Epstein's estate. They were obtained from Epstein's lawyers pursuant to a subpoena that was issued by the House Oversight Committee. And I believe Jasmine Crockett is on that committee. These documents are separate from the criminal case files held by DOJ and the FBI that Trump and Bondi promised to release after the election, but never did. As for why Biden and Democrats didn't release the criminal case files, Maxwell's criminal case was still open during the Biden administration. She wasn't convicted until late 2021, and then she appealed her conviction. Generally, it's not a good idea to open your evidence files when a criminal case is ongoing. We also don't know whether the FBI was still investigating other possible suspects who helped Epstein or participated in his crimes. If you are still targeting suspects, you don't want them to know you are zeroing in on them. But with takes like that and attacking Democrats every chance he can, Stephen A. is now trying to use reverse psychology on Democrats to say y'all are scared to talk to me.
Jasmine Crockett has been on this air, or invited on this show for 4 months. AOC has been invited on this show for 4 months. Gavin Newsom has been invited on this show for longer than that. Props to Hakeem Jeffries. He's a friend of the show, always welcome on here. I like that man. I respect him. Chuck Schumer's been invited on this show, hasn't shown up.
What would it benefit any?
Every one of them people you just named will cook your ass, man. Straight up.
One to come on Stephen A's show. This dude is intentionally uninformed on the topics that he's talking about in the political realm. He has no idea what he's saying half the time. He goes with whatever the conservative narrative is, and he demonizes Democrats every chance he gets. What would be the point? He told people to get over the Epstein files.
You're in an uproar off the Epstein list? That's all you've got?
It's really, really surprising that this matters. Of course, I think there's a list, but I don't know. I suspect, but I have no knowledge, nor do I care. It's Friday night. I'm getting ready to go out and enjoy myself. I'm getting ready to have a nice weekend. I could give a damn about the client list, the Epstein client list. It has no effect on me whatsoever. I have a life. I don't understand for the life of me why this matters so much to these. I'm talking about people losing it. They're crying on camera. They're talking about resignations. They're pissed off about everything. I'm like, really?
He criticized Jasmine Crockett for being an outspoken black woman, basically.
Donald Trump isn't some misunderstood genius. He is a walking indictment with a microphone. A man who screams about everyone else's IQ while tripping over the most basic test of all. Tell the truth. Respect the law. Don't treat the country like your personal crime scene.
Educated.
Man, that's crazy that somebody can fix their lips to call her low IQ or something like that when they have no accolades. They don't have anything to brag about. They've never done anything of substance in their life. Bro, how do you call someone who passed law school, took the bar, became a practicing attorney? How can they be low IQ? Last time I checked, law school is difficult. Getting into law school is difficult. The bar is difficult. I don't understand how you can call someone low IQ. That's wild to me.
Brilliant black woman representing over 750,000 people is engaging in verbiage and rhetoric for the street. And
wait, hold up, whoa. See, that's the bullshit he's talking about. Your own president does that, and he's the highest office. What the hell? People like Stephen A. Smith are just hypocrites, dog. Our commander-in-chief is the most childish president we've ever seen in real life. The most immature president of all time. And you're talking about a woman who isn't even a president using street vernacular. Your own president creates AI images of American cities burning. I mean, come on now, bro. Let's be real.
And that's fun when you in the streets. How many of y'all bring the streets to the table when you at the negotiating table
Donald
trying to get
Trump.
a deal done?
And now he's trying to blame not releasing the Epstein files on the Democrats, even though he's dead wrong about all of that. Why would anybody give his show any time?
Well, they
Frog face.
Minding their business.
Every single Republican I have asked to show up on this show has either said yes or that they're coming.
He hasn't said it.
Because you only say nice things about them.
But he's clearly a Republican. He's clearly a conservative. He speaks with conservative biases and leanings. So why wouldn't they come on his show if they know they're going to get a friendly puff piece interview or podcast moment?
Right,
Whereas
Jew.
Democrats have nothing to gain by dealing with the Stephen A. Smith.
Not the damns why.
And this new Fox conservatism turn isn't new. Stephen A. has been riding Trump's meat for a long time, saying ridiculous things to hype him up or defend him.
As much as people may have been abhorred by Donald Trump's statement weeks ago, talking about how black folks, he's hearing that black folks find him relatable because what he's going through is similar to what black Americans have gone through. He wasn't lying.
He was absolutely
But he was
lying.
using that shit to be a victim. That shit ain't real. He was lying. Trying to get compassion and empathy from black folks. You are not in the same plight as us, bro.
Trump has been rich his whole life. Trump got millions of dollars from his dad to start his own company. Not to mention
His daddy was born rich.
he has a history of racism leading all the way back to when he was buying apartment complexes.
Donald Trump has a history of racism himself.
No, that's not true.
Are you kidding me?
sorry,
Donald Trump
that's not
started his
true.
career with racism. In the 1970s, he was sued for housing discrimination. In 1989, he was a part of he was led the lynch mob against the Central Park Five. In the 1990s, he was sued by casino workers for racial discrimination. He led a 5.5-year campaign against Barack Obama for allegedly not having an accurate birth certificate. Donald Trump came in office talking about he was going to ban Muslims, and he was called Mexicans were supposedly.
Bro, I told a white dude at the pool hall everything he just said just now. That man fixed his lips and told me, how is that racist? You want to screen the people who live in your building. Like, how is it racist that he wants to make sure that the people working at the hotel and casino are doing their job? I'm like, bro, it's racist because he was singling out groups of people, you dummy.
Donald Trump has a long history. You didn't deny anything of the things I just said.
There is nothing relatable from a black man's experience or a black woman's experience to Donald Trump. And Stephen A. saying that's just giving House Ninja vibes. I don't know what else to call it.
He was telling the truth. When you see the law enforcement, the court system, and everything else being exercised against him, it is something that black folks throughout this nation can relate to with some of our historic, iconic figures. We've seen that happen throughout society. So no matter what race, what ethnicity you may emanate from, we relate to you when you're suffering like that, because we...
Man, shut the hell up, man. Frog face ass nigga here. Bro, he's only agreeing with that shit and admitting that black people go through all this kind of stuff because Donald Trump says he goes through it. But given another situation where he's supposed to say that kind of stuff, he probably wouldn't. None of the other conservative black people would say it. Like, they just don't want to admit to shit like that. But it's convenient to do it now because Donald Trump said it.
No, we have.
I assume he's talking about black civil rights leaders like Malcolm X or Martin Luther King Jr. being spied on by the FBI and CIA and being tracked and followed, phones tapped and all of that. They didn't do anything illegal. They were just black people speaking up for protecting and guiding other black people. They were black leaders. Trump has been convicted of like 30 felonies.
Facts.
I can't.
He's an adjudicated RAPIST.
That's what he articulated.
At the end of the day, Stephen A. just wants Trump to point at him like this so bad.
Look at my African American over here. Look at him.
Bruh, that sounds like ownership. Look at my African American, like possession. You know what I'm saying? Like, I own you. What the
Are you the greatest? Do you know what I'm talking about?
And he's willing to destroy his reputation and sell out any morals or decency that he had to become as popular, as successful as he was in the sports realm. Crazy times. But shout out to my channel members. I appreciate y'all so much. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments. Also, make sure you check out the next video. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram for behind the scenes and life stuff. And I'll catch you next time. Peace.